Welcome to another episode of Sleep When You're Dead. Now, a few people have been asking me about reloading, and I like to reload. I've got my 9mm, 22 250, 223, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, 300 Win Mag, and maybe a couple others. What I normally do is like to clean the cartridges. When you put them in your resizer, you want to make sure that there's no debris on them or anything like that. Most of the cartridges are pretty clean, and they just put them in a dry tumbler and they work fine. Had a dry tumbler for years, works really good. There's been some talk about wet tumblers, but you'll find that wet tumblers are quite expensive. It does take longer to clean. You got to wash them, get all the steel pins out, etc, etc. It is a bit of a pain in the bum. So anyway, recently been given some other cartridges. Now they're quite old, and when they get old they tarnish. Even though it's brass, it will corrode. So they're still perfectly fine, and you can put them in a dry tumbler and they will come out relatively clean and smooth and well enough to put through the resizer and reload them, and they'll be fine. But let me show you a couple of things, and we've got a really hot tip for you. Okay, if we can focus there, these cartridges are 243 calibre. They've been sitting in my mate's garage for over 20 years. He broke the stock on his 243, never bought another one, bought a few other different rifles, and he's now given me over 300 of these cartridges. But as you can see, they're a bit tarnished, not too good. Anyway, put them in a dry tumbler, and they come out looking like that. Not too bad, nice and smooth, ready to reload. But wouldn't you prefer your cartridges to look like that? They're still going to do the same job. But by crikey, how good is that? Shiny, looks like new. Does not look like a 20-year-old cartridge you found on the bottom of the floor. How do we get our cartridges looking like that? Maybe dry tumbler, not quite, maybe a wet tumbler. But let me show you the hot tip that I've got for you today. This is a dishwasher. Now if you don't know where it is, ask the wife. She will probably point you in the right direction, and more than likely you're going to find it in the kitchen. So when you get this bugger, you got to turn him on. If you have a look, there's all these settings here. Again, you might need some wife supervision for this. Maybe not. I don't know. Your call. Anyway, if you have a look here, we've got 45 degrees. No good, mate. Not hot enough. 50 degrees. We're getting there. Still not good enough. 55. Yeah, almost talking, but 75 is on the money. 75 degrees is what we want. Tap that little bugger there. Off she goes, 75 degrees. Down in the door here, you've got to put your tablet. Now what do we use? The secret ingredient is Logic's Platinum 18-in-1 Ultimate Ink Clean and Shine. These are lemon fragrance, but they're Platinum 18-in-1. Don't get the 16-in-1, don't get the 14-in-1, and definitely not the 12-in-1. You want the 18-in-1. That is the go. This thing has oxygen technology, enzyme technology. It's got more technology than your kids know about. Pop one of those little tablets in the little thing over there, shut that up. Let's do it now. Right. Let's show you how it's done. Pop that in there. Doesn't matter. Look at that. Parramatta. Yellow. And blue. Shut that up there. Put that up there. Hit the go button. And off she goes. As you can see, that's going to run for 2.5 hours. Or sorry, 2 hours and 10 minutes. How long's 2 hours and 10 minutes? Well, I reckon it's about 4 of these. We must be just about ready. Let's have a look. Righto. That's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Let's have a look. Pop that door open, slide out that tray, and have a look at these little beauties. Look at that. Unbelievable, isn't it? You would not think these little fellas are 20 years old and been rolling around in the bloody shed floor out at Bingra, would you? Have a go at them. Don't forget, this is what they were like. Now that light's not real good for showing how dark these things are. That's pretty bad. That's pretty shiny. How good is that? So this is the go. Don't worry about your wet tumbler. Save your money. Ask the wife where the dishwasher is. She'll point you in the right direction with a smile, I'm sure. And guys, guess what? Here is a second hot tip. If you want to keep the cheese and kisses happy, check this out. You can put a plate in there, pop that in with your cartridges, shut it up. Just remember, turn it on, 2 hours and 10 minutes, 75 degrees. with your Logics, 18 in 1, and happy days. Check that out. So there you go. That is a beautiful hot tip, don't you think? Anyway, actually what I will do, just before we finish signing this off, I will show what a dry tumbler looks like for those who don't know, and we'll head out in the garage. Let's go and have a look. Righto, so that's my Smart Reloader Tumbler SR737 Nano. It's just a little one, and you take the top off here, one-handed, and inside is some media, walnut husks, that sort of thing, and you just pop a few shells in there, and we'll plug it in while the lid's off so you can see what happens to it and how it operates. There you go. Does polish them up. You've got to get rid of the media out of each shell. Does a pretty good job. There you go. That is a dry tumbler. What a beauty. So there you have it, folks. A dry tumbler does the job in 90% of cases, but when you've got that 10%, when you've got bloody corroded old cases and you want to clean them up good, stick them in your dishwasher. That is the trick. That's the number one trick. And just remember, don't worry about wasting your money on a bloody wet tumbler. They're expensive. I wouldn't even bother owning one, so don't worry about it. We'll see you in the next one. See you later. April Fool. The wet tumbler did the job. Don't go sticking them in the dishwasher.